how to tighten your belt to supersize or maybe even save your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom today is tighten your belt. Tighten your belt is, of course, an idiom that came out of the American Depression era when people it was hard to get resources. It's hard to get enough to eat. It was hard to have money to spend because so many people were out of work. Not unlike COVID right now, we've got millions of people out of work right now. We've got millions of businesses shut down. And many of us have had to find creative ways to tighten our belt or reserve and save resources in order to continue to survive and function. Now, a couple of things about tightening your belt and that we need to remember is that the belt is adjustable. One thing I love about this particular belt, since I really haven't been able to wear belts that much, or wanted to since I hit about 40 and then into my 50s, is that there are adjustable belts. Sometimes we need belts to support us and hold up our pants. Other times we need them to make a fashion statement. But whatever reason we have the belt, if a belt represents our resources, just like everything else, they're going to ebb and flow and change with what's going on in our business and our lives in the world. And this time is no different. Many times and in many situations, we're finding that we need to reshift and change our priorities. We need to dedicate resources to things that we've never dedicated resources to before. There are a whole slew of businesses that are actually really seriously considering sanitation and cleanliness and product safety and food safety. Well, food safety was my life, and so to me that was just natural. But for a lot of industries, safety and cleanliness of the work environment for the health of the people that work there, for the people that are part of your organization, as well as the customers, it's a first-time concern. Yeah, stores used to clean and sweep and dust every once in a while, but they never had to worry about sanitizing all the surfaces in their location. So there's a whole slew of new problems that have risen out of the problem of COVID-19. And we think that this is like the end of the world, but really it's a wake-up call that we probably should have had a long, long time ago in terms of knowing that change is inevitable. We're going to have to continue to change, evolve, and grow, and determine what is important to us, what's really important, and realize that in every challenge there's a huge opportunity. So although some businesses and some industries are really struggling in this time, there are other industries and businesses that have just exploded and are thriving. And their challenge is to keep up with the growth and the demand for their products and services. And others are just like, oh, how do I tighten my belt enough to even weather this storm and survive? And we do that by realizing that it's more than just weathering the storm. It's more than just holding out and hoping we had enough reserves to keep us through a shutdown. It's getting creative. It's figuring out what's right for our organization to do now. What do we do now? How are we going to change and grow and pivot? The whole fantastic word pivot that everyone loves. But that's always been required of our businesses and of our lives. It's just required in mass right now. So ask ourselves and ask yourself, how can I serve? How can I solve today's problems? Not yesterday's problems, not last week's problems. What are the problems that the people I serve right now are facing? How can I help them? How can I serve them? How can I give them solutions to those problems and challenges that they're facing, given that their lives have changed, that they might not have the disposable income, or they might not even have the same problems that they had 6 months ago. I mean, depending on your company, your business, your products or services, your past products might really be struggling right now. I mean, I don't know how many people are out buying luxury cars and jewelry and things. We know people aren't buying travel right now. So what are you doing to keep your business alive while this is going on? If you need help with that or you need ideas with that, just hit me up in the comments below. Ask. If I don't know, then I will make sure that we get you hooked up with somebody that does. I actually like the idiom tighten your belt, or this expression tighten your belt, because there have been times in my life when I too have needed to tighten my belt. There's also times when people say, oh, you're gonna have to tighten your belt when you go to college. And what I found is that I had to loosen my belt because I, of course, fell prey to the eating plans of my school, and back then alcohol was legal, so the drinking plans of my school, which on somebody as short as me meant that I gained that freshman 15 pretty darn fast. And so then I spent the rest of my college career battling that on and off, and figuring out that it was a lot better to make lifestyle changes than crazy diets. So that was an instance where somebody literally told me, my parents told me, well, you're gonna have to tighten your belt and live on this allowance and the money that you've saved to get through college. And I ended up finding out that it was just the opposite. I had to loosen my belt. And sometimes we find that what we think is going to happen and what we expect is just the opposite of what we want to happen or we expect to happen. And then we just adjust and we do something else. We try something else. That's it. Go out, have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where did it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Take care. Bye. Go tighten your belt.